Spoilers ahead. Consider yourself warned, or you may opt to entirely mute this video and watch the time-lapse of this art instead. And now that that's out of the way, let's get right into it. So 2021's Mortal Kombat just came out and the general reception is quite unremarkable to say the least. This may sound absurd after all the hype it generated these past months, but this is another case of a movie that falls between the borderline of a good popcorn movie and a mediocre martial art fantasy flick. This is the official synopsis. Hunted by the fearsome warrior Sub-Zero, MMA fighter Cole Young finds sanctuary at the temple of Lord Raiden, training with experienced fighters Liu Kang, Kung Lao, and the rogue mercenary Kano. Cole prepares to stand with Earth's greatest champions to take on the enemies from Outworld in a high-stakes battle for the universe. So did it live up to its hype? I'm not sure, but as a fan, it sure fell flat for me. Back when I saw the first trailer, I thought that finally, we will be getting a proper Mortal Kombat movie that is faithful to the original material, and boy was I disappointed. In a nutshell, Mortal Kombat 2021 comes off as a prelude to hopefully future installments, a prologue of the franchise if you will. And that's pretty much it. It's not really that worst as in Wonder Woman 1984 worst. It somehow delivers the goods but kind of misses the mark. Simply put it this way, it has a solid jump start but very weak and less satisfying resolution. It's a movie that is oversaturated with plot setups to the extent that the story loses its focus. At some point, the storytelling feels episodic and smaller than how its world should be conveyed. For me, they should have burrowed through Hanzo Hasashi's storyline deeper, using it as the driving force of the movie towards establishing the true core of the conflict, instead of unnecessarily creating a new main protagonist in the form of Cole Young, who has uninteresting character development. I played the earlier versions of the game and have been catching up with its ever-expanding world building, albeit not by playing games but by watching the cinematic cutscenes. So I'm pretty much familiar with the lore. Ironically, the 1995 version, though obviously dated and lacks diversity, has a more cohesive storyline. The only edge of the 2021 version are naturally the top-notch video effects and the fight scenes amped with the traditional brutal gory ending moves. And now the actors. First off, I felt sorry for the actor who played Cole Young because obviously he has the moves and talent, but his character is the type that you should be supposedly be invested in since he is being groomed to be the main protagonist, but sadly comes across as nothing more than just a plot device that is less engaging in the end. I think this is the part where the storytelling becomes problematic. Like I said, they should have stuck with Scorpion's backstory to be the one that carries through the whole storytelling. In the 1995 version, Liu Kang is the main focal point, and the actor who portrayed him really did justice to the character. From acting to stunts and down to his story, his presence in the movie is very palpable, convincing enough that you would really want to root for his character. His internal conflict and flaws make him interesting. This formula would have applied perfectly on Cole Young, but Hanzo already has that characterization, and his role in the grand scheme of things make Cole an unnecessary contribution to the story. Ironically, most, if not all, of the 1995 cast members were born to play their roles respectively compared to the 2021's diverse team. The former seemed to have more charismatic portrayal of the characters as opposed to the new incarnations. Well, 2021 Scorpion and Sub-Zero are a league of their own, and their Kano was a pleasant surprise, so props to the actors who played them. But the rest, especially the main characters, totally night and day. For example, Lord Raiden, Sonya Blade, Shang Tsung. There's a good reason why the game based the likeness of their popular characters on some of the actors of the 1995 film. Their looks stick. Unlike the new generation who, besides the mediocre acting performances, is seemingly forgettable. Look at their Raiden, comicky and monotonous, And the one that really irked me was the part where the writers decided to kill off one of my favorites, Kung Lao. It felt like forced and unnecessary, like for the sake of inserting a poignant moment. I hated it. They've added a new concept about how every champion is identified by way of a dragon mark, which unlocks their arcana or supernatural gifts. It's kind of weird, but the idea may grow on me. But don't even get me started on Sonya Blade's acquired power. The biggest downer for me is how the movie made me believe that there would be a formal tournament. Apparently, the recruitment of new champions still continues. So, what's to like about this movie then? As I've said, it's a good popcorn movie. If you're into martial arts, heavy CGI, and all the movie magic spectacle, then this is right up your alley. I won't say it's not entertaining either. It has good fight scenes that aren't over the top like what most movies have nowadays. I was also pleased that the iconic Mortal Kombat soundtrack was injected, but more like a tease. It could have added more flavor and blissful nostalgia to both old and new fans if the production team decided to go all out with it. I mean, who doesn't love that track? So there you go. My review, or more like a rant about the Mortal Kombat 2021. But I'm still willing to give this franchise a chance and hope for more sequels. Something should follow after a prologue, right? It has great potentials, just recast Sonya Blade and Lord Raiden. P.S. If you really want a good Mortal Kombat story, watch the animated feature Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. You'll see the stark difference in terms of storytelling.